ordinary audiences. I say, do you know Torah? They say, law. And how about Adam, man? That's right. I said, you're brighter than the scholars. For the text says here, and this should be the law for all of mankind, for all of humanity. And I think that this is where the next great moment comes. I think with these three moments, we have the case for the Messianic doctrine laid in its basic forms.
All right. Dr. Lapid, just take right off here and take the next 4 minutes, and if you'd like, respond to that or build your own case.
Well, I cannot fully agree with you about the snake because, unfortunately, evil in this world is far from being crushed. If it were, the newspapers wouldn't know what to print. And the TV stations wouldn't know what to transmit because most of it is evil. And we live in a, unfortunately, all too palpably unredeemed world, you and I. But if you come to Abraham, agreement with you is much easier. Because I would go a step further than you. Not only Abraham, who was the first Hebrew, but his son Isaac and his grandchild Jacob, our three great forefathers, become, before they ever get to be a people, or own a land, or have any pledges for their own progeny, they have the obligation of mediating God's blessings to the entire world. And the three sayings for all the three forefathers tally with a few small differences we don't have to go into, but universalism is implanted in them before there is such a thing as the Jewish people at all. In other words, Jews cannot be Jews if they limit themselves to their own livelihood, if they narrow their horizon to their own nation, because we have received the message and the precept of bringing God's blessings to the entire world, and that goes from China to Iceland. And as long as we don't fulfill that divine commandment, we are not yet fully grown Jews. As to David, I couldn't agree more. The dynasty of David, 1,000 years before Jesus, and obviously you have Jesus in the back of your mind, he would be included in that prophecy which has no time limit. To thee and thy house and thy son. Of course, if I take it literally, his son is just the king after him, Solomon. But that's preposterous, because in Hebrew parlance, as we both know, by son progeny is meant almost timelessly, and therefore the Nathan prophecy, as the theologians call it, give this David, who is far from being a paragon of virtues, but God chose him, and God is free to choose whom he likes. He will not bow to theological rules. Thank God for that.
That's true.
He chose this David with all his virtues and his vices to become the bearer of God's blessing and the continuer of the handing on of this blessing through his dynasty, through Jesus, if you like, to mankind. I agree here. I don't think we have to quibble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Kaiser, respond back.
Oh, I like that. I think we're working together here. I believe that that's exactly correct. The Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob sequence there is a repetition of the same word that was given to Abraham. In fact, they become the first installments on the fulfillment. For when Abraham looks to see all that God is going to do for the ages that lie in the future, that surely he is unaware of in terms of how much distance or what the gap each is there, surely when he saw Isaac that was born, there was kind of the down payment, the kind of Whitman's box of samplers on the big box of chocolates that is to come. This was earnest money on what God was going to do in the future. So I do like that. And if I sense what we're saying here, yes, the Son is a progeny. It is a whole series. So we would have to have little loops connecting them as they point toward the grand Messiah that is to come in the future. And when we spell out these, as it were, peaks that are here, I'm kind of embarrassed because already there are so many texts that we are not touching. Within the rabbinic writings, even there, just to show you that this is not a Christian project by a long shot, we have some 456 passages in the Tanakh, in the Old Testament, which are discussed and given a Messianic label. So this is a heritage, as it were, and the Christian community, in that sense, is a Johnny come lately to the discussion. It has been in progress for a long time. But still, these are some very, very key passages, and I do agree.
All right, we're going to take a break here, but Dr. Lapid, you still believe the Messiah is coming. Is that not true?
Yeah.
All right. And you believe the Messiah has come. But we're using the Scriptures, and we're building up to that person. Dr. Lapid just believes that it is not fulfilled in Christ. And you believe that what?
Jesus Christ is the one who, as a matter of fact, will fit the evidence for all of these expectations.
All right, we're going to press that case in just a little bit of time, and stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're talking about, do the Old Testament prophecies point to Jesus or somebody else? And our guests are Dr. Pinchas Lapid, an Orthodox Jewish theologian, who is one of only 4 Jewish scholars on the New Testament in the world today, and Dr. Walter Kaiser, Dean of Trinity Seminary and Professor of Semitic Languages there. Dr. Kaiser, we need you to continue building your case, and Dr. Lapid, we want you to comment on this. Please go ahead. Draw the outline for us. So you started with some prophecies in the Hebrew Scriptures, and you're going toward a point. Who's the point, in your estimation, talking about? And carry on there.
Well, we have such great agreement here. My good friend, Dr. Lapid, is apparently in agreement with me that the Genesis 3:15 and Genesis 12 and 2 Samuel 7 indeed are very, very important passages for the discussion of the doctrine of the Messiah. But how does that relate to Yeshua, or the Christian claim that Jesus is the one who is the fulfillment of it? And I think, first of all, that Yeshua, or Jesus, is Jewish, first of all. He is from the line of David. Secondly, he was born in the house of David in Bethlehem. And we're only beginning to start to roll up the claims, because there are some, again, 400 passages which give very, very specific details of the person and work and ministry and life of this particular one. Well, let's go to perhaps the one that is most sensational of all, and the one I think that Dr. Lapid rather hinted at the beginning, and that is, if he is indeed the Messiah, if this Yeshua is, as we Christians claim, the Messiah, then why is there not peace in the world today? I think that was one of the issues here. And this brings us to the heart of the issue, that there is the real problem that he must come to suffer first, and then he will come back again. But this raises a very delicate matter in Jewish Christian dialogue. Can you have one and the same Messiah suffer and also rule and reign? Traditionally, as I understand Jewish scholarship, it has divided that question. There is Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David, son of Joseph and son of David. One to suffer and the other to die. But just quickly, Zechariah, the prophet that comes almost at the end of the whole of the Hebrew canon of scriptures. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 10. There you have the Lord speaking